Well, hello, 8 a.m. Saturday morning ethics class. And no, I'm not going to talk about this video, but what I'm going to talk about is the ethics of software patent, so let's get started. Alright, so the ethical standard I'm going to be using is utilitarianism. It is a theory and philosophy about right and wrong actions. It says that the morally best action is the one that makes the most overall happiness or utility. This is not limited to the happiness caused by a single action, but also includes the happiness of all people involved in all future consequences. So what this is saying in easier words is it's a belief that the morally good action is the one that helps the greatest number of people. So the way to take this ethically would be if you're doing an action that is benefiting the most people, that's going to be ethical in our ethical standard. And we're going to apply this to the software patents and see if they are ethical or not in the current form it is in. Alright, so now we're going to talk about real quick is what's a patent and what's the purpose. A definition I found online for patent is a government authority or license conferring a right or title for a set period, especially the sole right to exclude others from making, using, or selling an invention. So if you come up with an idea or an invention, getting a patent on it will allow you to be the sole person who creates it. Or if someone else wants to create it, you can charge them to create the product or use your idea. So this allows you to freely have new ideas and not be scared that it's going to be taken. And that's essentially the purpose. The purpose of the patent is to promote innovation and invention by protecting your idea or invention from being stolen from others. So I feel like in our ethical standard, this is ethical. It allows one person to create something that's good and new and benefit everyone by allowing everyone to use it, but he gets a small piece of all the money made from it. So, sounds ethical. What's the problem? So the problem is we're seeing a lot of patents that are essentially describing the same thing. Or what they're describing is so technical that you can argue that it describes so many things in computer science or the programming world. I have a few examples here. So we have patent number 6003044 for efficiently backing up files using multiple computer systems. So it's a patent for having a bunch of computers saving data to another system or another computer somewhere. And then we have patent 5933653 for, quote, mirroring data in a remote data storage system. So this is another patent for having a bunch of computers saving data somewhere. And then in addition to that, I found 3 different patents with 3 different patent numbers, but they all had the same title: System and Method for Backing Up Computer Files Over a Wide Area Network. So here we have 5 patents that are for the same thing. So all these people hold the right to do this one thing. And then, so an example of one that's technical that could be used for anything, we have, well, it could be maybe not used for anything, but used to describe a bunch of different things in computer science. So this is patent number 7650296 and is for a configurator using structure and rules to provide a user interface. It's kind of very vague, but we have a section. I have a section here from the patent that reads like this. According to one embodiment of the invention, a customizable product class is created. A component product class is added to the customizable product class, where the component product class is a subclass of the customizable product. So it's essentially just technical jargon that describes something that there is a patent given for, but it could apply to so many other things. So why is all this bad? It's people are just getting patents, multiple patents for the same thing, and then you're getting patents that can describe almost anything. All right, so what does patents being given out like this cause? It's ended up causing NPEs, non-practicing entities, to start collecting these patents for the sole purpose of suing other companies. These NPEs, the non-practicing entities, all they're doing is gathering these patents, either buying them from other companies or filing for them themselves, and not creating any services or not creating any products, but all their revenue comes from just suing other companies. And a lot of their targets are tech startups, People trying to, create some new products, create some new services, and as they're growing, they're getting sued by these NPEs. They're also targeting big companies. They have a lot of money and stuff, and if they have a website, they're sure to have infringed on some of their patents. So they're targeting these big companies as well, trying to sue them just for infringing on these patents that are like 5 to 1 or so vague that it could fit almost anything. Almost, if you have a website, you're sure to be doing something that's infringing on their patents. And besides these lawsuits, they're also impacting the tech industry and making companies spend more money to acquire these patents so they're protected from these lawsuits. For example, when a Nortel company went bankrupt, they were selling up to 6,000 patents at auction. Google said they were willing to spend $3 billion to buy these patents for the sole purpose of protection against patent trolls. This pile of patents ended up selling for $4.5 billion to Apple, some to Microsoft, and a smaller section to an assortment of tech companies that people assume to be patent trolls. So that's $4.5 billion spent by these companies that create products and create services, not to further those products or their services, but just to protect themselves from these NPEs. And these NPEs have been given a name by the industry, and that's patent troll. All right, so with all the stuff I just talked about in mind, let's take a look back at our ethical standard and see if how this is played out is still ethical. So our ethical standard was that the utilitarianism, where the most good goes to the most people, justifies our action being ethical. So if we look at our software patent laws and the way they're being played out, it doesn't seem to fit this standard anymore. It doesn't seem to be ethical. There's a few people gathering these patents, and they're suing most of the people in the industry for infringing on these patents. So the way the laws are playing out and the way it's being used is a few people are getting the most good at the cost of the most people. So most of the people are being harmed by these laws, and a few people are benefiting. And that does not satisfy ethical standard. So if we apply it this way, how it's actually being used and not what the laws were created for, this is not an ethical thing happening. This is not good for the software industry. This is unethical. And in saying that, this is going to wrap up my ethical presentation on software patents. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time.